I tell my clients no 5 times more often than I tell them yes. And sometimes it gets incredibly frustrating for them. And I have to remind them like, hey, I know it's really frustrating that I keep telling you no, even though you're really excited about these properties, but it's so atypical for the real estate industry for a real estate agent to flat out say, don't buy this house. Most agents are not built that way. They're going to have you look in the other direction, away from the negative aspect of the house, right? And point towards the positives. That's what I'm not going to do.
Welcome to the STR Home Financing Podcast, where we believe a legacy is something you build, not just something you leave behind. And now, here's your host, Jeff Chisum.
Hey, this is Jeff Chisum with STR Home Financing. Super excited to bring another segment of our series of the 3 things that you should know, where we're bringing in experts in the short-term rental arena. And I have Tyler Coon with me today, and very excited about him bringing in his expertise for the space, short-term rental space, because he's committed himself. And I'm not going to bring anybody on here that I don't feel confident is going to bring value to our listeners. And Tyler definitely fits the bill for that model. Tyler, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, how are things in your neck of the wood? Good weather, a lot of visitors coming into the area?
Yeah, me and my assistant Jenna just went to lunch at Chick-fil-A and we were able to eat outside. It's low 70s and sunny here in Asheville. And yeah, we're loving it. This time of year is beautiful, but man, it kills me on my allergies.
Yeah, no, I love everything turning green, but I know what comes along with it. So yeah. I hear you on that. So we're going to jump into it. Who you are, what makes you a human, family, where you live, anything you want to share there, what you've done, what's your background related to short-term rental, and what you're doing, what you're bringing to the short-term community, what you're excited about. So go for it, Tyler.
Yeah, very cool. So my name is Tyler Coon. As you heard Jeff introduce me, I am the founder of the Savvy Realty team. And right now we're actually in the middle of rebranding to Savvy STR Agents. And so I think that gives you a little bit more of a clue of what we do. And so these days I am exclusively representing short-term rental buyers and sellers as a real estate agent here in Asheville and the surrounding Western North Carolina area. But consistently over the last few years, what I have heard from investors and clients is that they aren't investing in areas that they don't have a me in, that they don't have a short-term rental specific agent in. And it makes all the sense in the world, right? Because if I was out on showings with first-time home buyers or people moving to and from the area, or out on listing appointments all day long and lead generating for those type of clients, I wouldn't be able to look at every single deal that hits the MLS. And so that's what I do. That's what we spend our time doing here in the office, is we look at everything that hits the MLS as fast as it comes. Because even though the residential market may see a small slowdown this year because a lot of people are in at low interest rates, a lot of people did move in the last few years, we're not seeing that on the investment side. So those properties that can be the best investments are still flying off the shelves. And what we're finding, that's never going to change. Like, why would it ever change? Because the best investment is always going to be in high demand, right? And we are constantly scouring. We're looking at the MLS every 15 minutes for everything that's hitting new. And we're running numbers on everything that hits the MLS. It's not certainly everything in our market that might make a good short-term rental. In fact, we may run numbers on 400 houses and only recommend one of them. And that's what our day looks like all the time. We really had to niche down and become short-term rental specific for that reason. We have to be looking at and running numbers on every deal.
Absolutely. And I deal with a lot of physicians, and they can relate to this analogy that I use. Hey, if I got a headache or if I got a shoulder problem, I'm not going to go to a podiatrist. And they get a chuckle and just explain the benefits of a lender that specializes in short-term rental, because I've heard tons of stories where they've talked to a local loan officer or the guy that they've dealt with in the past, who it's typical that they're doing primary residences. So when they get introduced to this conversation, it's, okay, great, I can help you. Let's put you in a 20% down investment property loan. And that has been one of my biggest opportunities to educate people on that 10% down second home occupancy loan. So you can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You've got to be committed. And you have done exactly that. If you were to pick the three most important things as to why someone should identify that they need to use a short-term rental expert as a realtor, what would you say those three things are?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing is that they know the area, right? And so a lot of times I'm working with folks from California, Texas, New York, and they don't know the streets here. They don't know the different towns here. They may have heard of Asheville, but they probably don't know about Waynesville or Boone or Maggie Valley or Bryson City. They don't know what the differences are, what the seasonality is. And number one reason to use a short-term rental realtor is because they know the area and they know why tourists come there. They know what there is a lack of, right? Is there a lack of 4 bedrooms in this town, but there's an oversaturation of 4 bedrooms in that town, right? And so for me, those are the things that I know. And so when I look for deals on the MLS for folks, I can guide them. And it's per their budget as well, right? So if they have a smaller budget, I know we need a smaller house. Where can a smaller house work? So they know the area. The second thing is, and it ties into the first thing, is they know the data, right? They know what the occupancy rates are of the different areas. They know what sort of average daily rates a certain town or city can command. And the third thing, and I'm going to loop this back around to the lending side, is you want your entire team, everyone that you work with, from a lender, from the lending side, to your agent, to your designer, to everybody you work with in the transaction, to also own short-term rentals, because what you're getting is you're going to get a lot of free advice, right? And so that's what's really nice about working with a team and working with somebody like Jeff. You own short-term rentals yourself, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to tell people like, yeah, this is what I would do. These are the numbers I would do. And a lot of times nowadays, an investment isn't just about what cash flow does it bring. A lot of times we're looking at, when can you refi? What are some other value add opportunities in the property itself? Is there unfinished square footage? And what is that going to look like? If you're going to refi anyways in 6 months, what is appreciation going to look like in the area? And then if you finish a basement and add a bunch of square footage, is that going to be the right time to do a cash out refi? Is it right to take a HELOC on my primary to pay for the down payment for my second home? These are all questions that a regular lender is not going to be able to answer, knowing that what your ideal outcome is cash flow. And that's why you need to work with somebody that truly understands what you're trying to do and has been through it themselves.
No, that's exactly right. You've got to have someone that understands the strategies. They've committed themselves to learning about the strategies to be able to share that and help you do things that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. That's huge. And as you're bringing up that second point, what comes to mind is a lot of conversations that I've had with people about, hey, Jeff, tell me about, where are people investing? What market should I go to? And I defer to the experts, because you guys know the data, the things that you can't just pull off an Air DNA report as far as value that a specific property is going to bring because it's this close to a river or it's got this view that people are looking for. So that is a great point. What's number 3 that you would present?
Yeah, so for me, number 3 is really going to be just that they'll be able to tell you no, I think is the most important thing, right? So it's number 3, but we're saving the best for last year. They're going to be able to tell you what not to invest in. And a lot of times I think it's more important that they tell you what not to invest in than what they tell you to invest in. Because if you go to an agent and they say yes to every deal that you guys talk about, I would be really wary there that they're not just trying to sell you lipstick on a pig, right? I tell my clients no 5 times more often than I tell them yes. And sometimes it gets incredibly frustrating for them. And I have to remind them like, hey, I know it's really frustrating that I keep telling you no, even though you're really excited about these properties, but it's so atypical for the real estate industry, for a real estate agent to flat out say, don't buy this house. It's so atypical for this industry. Most agents are not built that way. They're going to have you look in the other direction, away from the negative aspect of the house, right? And point towards the positives. That's what I'm not going to do. We're going to tear that house apart. And if it gets through those stress tests then I'm going to say, okay, this is something that I would personally invest in. And again, going back to having your team also all be investors, we just bought something for $850 last month, right? And so I'm investing in this current market at current interest rates, right? I'm putting my money where my mouth is and saying this is investable. And so that's the end result of every conversation that I have with a client is would Tyler invest in this property personally or not?
Oh, that's awesome, because I see so many realtors that are just living for the next deal. You're building a business around short-term rental where your reputation is at stake with every deal. So that's a great point. So I'm going to add a bonus here, Tyler. I know the answer, but I would like to have my audience hear it from you. As a local short-term rental expert, you're going to have connections to all the resources that people get nervous about because you are invested in that area, that specific area. So you're going to know the handymen, the cleaners, the property managers. Am I right?
Yeah, it's made it incredibly easy. And I think it's good to word it as a bonus because most of our clients, when they work a transaction with a normal real estate agent, that agent is pretty much done with their job at closing, right? They might hear from them every 6 months or every couple of years, a little follow up here and there, but they know that's really to come get the listing later on. That's what it is in real estate most of the time. Conversely, we are here boots on the ground every day. All we sell is short-term rentals. I'm within Keller Williams, the number one agent in both North and South Carolina, right? As a region, I've outsold agents in Hilton Head and Charleston and Charlotte in our little mountain town here over to the west, right? And so with the amount of volume that we do in the number of homes that we manage, because I also founded a property management company as well, we are constantly going through new cleaners, new handymen, new construction guys. Just yesterday, I had these new construction guys that I met build risers for us in a movie theater that we're creating in that short-term rental we bought last month. And they're incredible. They came in, they got the materials, they built the whole thing in 2 hours. It was half as cheap as I thought it was going to be. They showed up on time. It was incredible. And so now I can pass along this resource to my other short-term rental clients, right? And I'm building these unique amenities into my short-term rentals, and my clients are building unique amenities into their short-term rentals that we can now pass along advice. This is what's working. This is what's not working. So we're doing a lot of the hard work for you. We've gone through all the bad cleaners in the area. Now we found the good ones, right? And if in 6 months your cleaner decides to quit or moves or you can't find a handyman, call us. We're here for you. And I think that has been the big bonus, right? That people really are enjoying. We just had last week a client of ours that he was having a problem with his hot tub. He was going to have to do a refund for his client. It was a whole nightmare. He spent 2 days trying to find someone. Within 30 minutes, we had somebody out on the way. And that client texted us afterwards. It was like, this is my favorite contractor I've even worked with in Maggie Valley so far. He's responsive and he's helping me out with so much stuff. And so I said, next time, just call us first. Make your calls too, but call us first next time. So yes, having the resources here locally is a huge benefit for investors that are out of state.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys are welcome for that bonus. That's huge information because I think people get overwhelmed with some of those issues and obstacles and the things that'll just paralyze you from taking action. Realtors like Tyler and his team just make that easy because of the resources that they've vetted out and the connections that they've made that they pass along to those clients. So appreciate that. Just a couple of shameless plugs. You can go to strhomefinancing.com. There's a chat feature. I've got a list of buyer agent interview questions that are specific to making sure that we hitch ourselves to short-term rental expert realtors. So if you want to send me a message, I can send you those questions. The other thing that we have coming soon is a series of podcasts that I'm going to do on the 3 things that make your market awesome, where I'm going to interview realtors that are experts in short-term rentals in specific markets. And we're going to be sharing the different markets that maybe you've never heard of and making some introductions to some of these realtors that are experts. So look forward to that in the future. Tyler, appreciate you coming on. Share with us 3 ways that people can connect with you.
Yeah, the main one is to go on Calendly. It's calendly.com/Tyler Coon. Very simple there, calendly.com/Tyler Coon. That's the best way to get on my schedule. It schedules, you'll get some emails about what's cool in the area, you'll get a PDF, you'll get a video series, all sorts of really cool stuff so that our personal one-on-one conversation can be real direct and you can ask a lot of meaningful questions. Second way is look me up on Facebook, send me a private message. Third way is shoot me an email. It's Tyler@Savvy, SAVVY, Realty. There is no .com or anything like that on the end. And if I can throw in a shameless plug right here at the end, our Savvy agents are also in the Bourbon Trail of Kentucky. Our new agent, Shane O'Donnelly, is in the Red River Gorge area of Kentucky, which we're really excited about. A lot of opportunity there. Myrtle Beach. And even though a lot of people have called me the Gatlinburg hater over the years, I'm not. We do have an agent coming on board in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, who I'm really excited about working with because her number one value she lives by is working with integrity to make sure that you would only buy the right investment there. And that's really important in an area like Gatlinburg nowadays. So thanks for letting me do a shameless plug too.
No, that's awesome. And we'll include all that contact information in the show notes. Make it easy to connect with Tyler. But really appreciate you having joined us today and your time and your expertise. Until next time.
Thanks.
Jeff Chisum is a registered mortgage loan officer with CMG Home Loans, NMLS ID 1820. CMG Home Loans is an equal housing lender. All programs, products, and terms discussed on this show are subject to change without notice.